Welcome to a special episode of D&D Quick Tips, advice for players and dungeon masters. In this episode, we're going to go over 4 ways to create engaging conversations. Too often, the dialogue in computer RPGs is just boring. That's why so many people end up skipping straight through it and proceeding on with the action. You do not want that to happen in your tabletop game. So here are 4 ways that you can avoid players wanting to press the skip button on your face. Tip 1. Give unexpected replies. Most interactions in our day-to-day lives aren't engaging. Dialogue follows a predictable flow, and unless we hear a response that surprises us, the conversation isn't memorable. The information we learn may be interesting, but the conversation itself is boring. When we're met with an unexpected reply in a conversation, our brain is forced out of autopilot. We already had in mind what we were going to reply to their next statement, and when you get something very jarring, all of a sudden you're thinking. And when you're thinking, you're engaged. Consider this scenario. A player goes up to a merchant and asks, "How much does this sword cost?" He expects a certain reply. But if the merchant replies, "Ha, you think you can afford that?" Well, all of a sudden we've characterized that NPC, and we've now started a more interesting conversation branch. Tip 2. Add conflict. Conflict is the heart of storytelling, and conflict does not equate to combat. Conflict arises when 2 or more parties are attempting to reach mutually exclusive goals. When engaged in a conversation, each party will attempt to steer that conversation toward its own goal, sort of like a tug of war. Almost any time a player engages in a conversation with an NPC, he has some form of goal, be it to seek aid, information, or goods and services. But NPCs have goals too. That priest may be looking to convert people to his religion. That merchant may be trying to offload that cursed sword that no one wants to buy. The innkeeper may be trying to keep shady characters away from his establishment. Now, I'm not saying to make every NPC belligerent and uncooperative. Depending on how strongly the NPC feels about his goal and how strong of character he is, you're going to get a different response. And even allies can have mutually exclusive goals. For instance, one person may want to defeat the villain, and the others may want to redeem him. And in fact, it's when we have allies that have mutually exclusive goals that we have the most interesting and engaging roleplay scenarios. Tip 3. Interact with the environment. Fill your environment with objects, then interact with them. Conversations that engage the senses force players to be more attentive. It's easy to get lost in a purely cerebral activity, like a verbal back and forth. But when you start to paint a picture by describing actions, you ground that dialogue in a physical environment. Pepper your conversations with actions to keep them dynamic. Set a stage, then use that stage to keep players immersed in the scene. You'll find them following suit. Tip 4. Know when to summarize. How do you ensure that all your dialogue is engaging? Cut out anything that isn't. As Shakespeare said, brevity is the soul of wit. A well-written novel wastes no words. Every line of dialogue serves a purpose, be it to reveal character, further the plot, or provide information. Conversations that are either mundane or lengthy are best suited for summary. You don't need to act out every exchange of buying rations at the market or that dull, droning political debate that goes on for hours. Of course, if the players do want to roleplay these things and you believe that the net result would be an increase in fun for everyone at the table, then roll with it. Just keep in mind that some players are hesitant to summarize because either they don't know that they're allowed to or they feel that they have to stay in character at all times, so just be sure that you're leading the example and showing that you can summarize so that players can skip through dialogue that they feel is going to be boring. That wraps up this video. Check out the link in the description below to be taken to the article I wrote for The Escapist on this topic. It goes into more detail and provides an example where we put all 4 of these points into action. Leave a comment on this video letting me know some of your most engaging role-played conversations. Check out more D&D quick tips over here, and check out my thoughts on 5th edition over here. And until next time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.